Hi. So, wow, I'm going to be repeating a lot of the stuff that's already been mentioned, but hopefully I want to frame it in the context of the race is long. And an example of what I mean by that is when I first prepared this talk, I kind of crowdsourced the answers. And I asked, what do you wish you had known about game development when you started out? And one of the answers I thought was really poignant, which was that making games is more important than making a game. And to me, that means that sort of the act or the passion and the career or the lifelong dream of making games is more important than any one game. And I think there's a risk in some of you starting out, or even some of us who have been doing this for a while, of focusing a bit too much on the current problem and maybe this one project, and not considering that the race is long and there is this, if you truly love making games, there's this journey that you're going to be going on. So I just started a game studio this year called Mountains, and it's been running for a couple of months. You might know me from a game that I worked on a few years ago called Monument Valley. And so it's because of this game that I was able to come here and start a studio. But the thing that I did before Monument Valley was I made a game about hacky sack blended with cats called Hacky Cat. And I was able to make that because of experiences that I had working on this game, Alice Madness Returns, which was a console and PC game that I made at a studio called Spicy Horse in Shanghai. Spicy Horse was only able to make that game because we made this game, American McGee's Grimm, which I doubt any of you have played because it was very hard to access and wasn't actually very good. But it was a learning experience, and it kind of led to the next thing. I was able to work on that because of the first game that I worked on full-time called American McGee Presents Bad Day LA. And this has the distinction of having a 28 on Metacritic. It's not a very good game, but it was a game that I worked on, and I learned so much from doing it. The way that I got started working with American McGee, the first project I worked with him on was called American McGee's Oz, which was canceled. And I was doing concept art on this, my first work ever as a freelance artist. And so, even though it was really disappointing that that was canceled, it kind of led on to new things. And the way that I met American was by doing some fan art of the game that he's best known for, American McGee's Alice. And I did that piece of fan art while I was studying at the University of South Australia. So this is all a really long way of explaining that, before I ever made a game that was kind of well-known or maybe considered commercially successful, I had this string of failures or, things that didn't really meet expectations or things that just didn't make a huge impact. But it didn't ever dissuade me. I always felt that I was learning and making connections and always moving along to the next opportunity. So start small and simple, you got to start somewhere. Something that I find really inspiring is Adria Wallach, who I didn't know would be in the audience, doing a game a year, doing one game a week for 50 weeks? 52 weeks. And I think that's a tremendous way to start off because it means that you know that you're going to be doing a series of these things and not all of them have to be successful, and it allows you to do weird things and learn how to fail and learn also how to get things done. And you may surprise yourself by doing some really weird, crazy things. Some of you may know the story of how Angry Birds started. It was not, it seemed like Rovio came out of nowhere, but actually it took them 51 games to get to the point of what they are now known for. So learn by doing, learn by failing, learn not to fear failure. When Indie Game the movie came out, I was really inspired. I was like, wow, this is how I want to make games. Here are some really inspiring figures. But it is just one narrative. It's one tale of how games are made, especially indie games. I was especially it really made me think again when I read this critique by Anna Anthropy about how, when it comes down to it, Indie Game, the movie, is about straight white guys who grew up playing Mario, kind of remaking that game and doing it for commercial purposes. So, you know, over time, as I've kind of developed, I try to learn from everybody around me and try to find different successes and different stories. Earlier today, I think you heard Lauren Clinic say that you're not students, you're artists. I also think that we're also all students because, and I'm a student, I'm still learning, and I'm here learning. I'm as much here to learn from you as you are from me on the stage. There's still so much that I can learn about game development and about the act of creation. You've heard before, nobody knows what they're doing. It's worth reinforcing. I still don't know what I'm doing. That's why I'm starting a studio. It's a new set of challenges for me. And it's great to remind myself that I don't have all the answers. Again, you've heard this before, the industry is made of people. It's wonderful that you're here today because, you know, this is such a tremendous opportunity for you to network and exchange ideas. And if you want to make games, it's not just about, you know, pixels and code and deadlines and publishers. It's also about the people in this room and what you can learn from each other. And, you know, even if you're really shy and awkward, you're going to get used to talking to people and reaching out because people are super useful. They're going to help you make games. They're going to help you find jobs. They're going to give you advice and give you support. And I really think that the people in your life, right, both personal and professional, they are going to be one of the greatest assets to you in your quest for making great games. Be kind, be giving, be supportive. I know it's really easy to get lost in the work and really prioritize that, but over time I've learned that, you know, I've gotten to where I am by people being generous with me and being giving and giving opportunities. So I hope that no matter where you are in your career that you do the same. Please take care of yourself. Wellness is something that we're talking about a lot more recently because game development, you know, we're here because we're passionate and it's really easy to get lost in your work, but it's also really easy for that to be harmful. So please drink lots of water, get sleep, get rest, and take care of each other. Yeah, you're pointing to the guy next to you. Don't take feedback too personally. Try also when you give feedback not to make it personal. Have stuff in your life other than games. You got this, right? Maybe game development might seem a bit scary from everything that people have been saying, but if I could make it, then you guys can too. And in the end, the race is long, but in the end, it's only with yourself. Yeah? All right, that's it. Woo!